The listed awarding body scheme provides voluntary, regulated access to the national framework of qualifications for professional, sectoral and international bodies for the first time. To date, only QQI and the universities, technological universities and institutes of technology have had the authority to make awards on the framework. The primary purpose of the LAB scheme is to provide learners with more choice of awards and to give them greater confidence in the awarding bodies. The LAB scheme also presents an opportunity to recognise learning already being undertaken by learners in Ireland. The scheme will be open across all levels of the NFQ from levels 1 to 10 and across the 5 award types. Although no organisations are required to become a LAB, in the future, education and training boards will only be able to offer awards included in the framework. Awarding bodies already working with ETBs will have a 5-year grace period from the commencement of the relevant legislation, which is expected to happen in 2023. There are 3 types of labs: provider labs, non-provider labs, and hybrid labs. Provider labs deliver their own programs leading to awards in the framework, while non-provider labs only make the awards and engage associated providers to deliver the programs leading to those awards. A hybrid lab does a little bit of both. Labs will be required to approve associated providers in line with any guidelines issued by QQI. Labs and their awards will be listed on the Irish Register of Qualifications, a publicly accessible register of all NFQ qualifications in Ireland. As I mentioned, the scheme is a voluntary regulatory scheme and includes a number of regulatory tools which will assist with delivering choice to learners, confidence in the award they undertake, and quality assurance of these awards. The LAB scheme will include a due diligence assessment of corporate fitness as part of the decision to establish a LAB. LABs and their associated providers will be required to enrol in the Learner Protection Fund. This fund will be used to fund transfers or refund fees to students in the event of a sudden closure of a provider or one of its programs. When deciding to approve a LAB, QQI will be considering their capability and capacity to make NFQ awards and to contribute to the shared responsibility of protecting the integrity and enhancing the reputation of the NFQ and Irish qualifications. When including awards in the framework, QQI will be seeking to ensure that awards are high quality, useful, and meet identified needs of learners and wider society. In order to become a LAB, applicants will need to develop quality assurance procedures and procedures for access, transfer and progression. In the case of provider labs, these will need to be approved by QQI. Applicants will also need to meet minimum requirements before a decision can be made about establishment. This will at least include endorsement from a relevant public authority, but will likely include other requirements such as a history of making awards and good standing with learners, funders and employers. Applicants will need to demonstrate achievement of criteria to be established as a LAB and to include awards in the framework. There are a number of benefits associated with becoming a LAB. The scheme is learner focused, and by providing framework awards to these learners, they will have better access to other programs of further and higher education and the potential to avail of recognition of prior learning. Holding an NFQ award will provide for better mobility and transferability of awards, as the NFQ is referenced to the European Qualifications Framework and the European Higher Education Area Qualification Framework. The NFQ is well understood by employers and recruiters, so learners may have wider access to employment opportunities as a result of the inclusion of awards in the framework. Establishment as a LAB will enhance the reputation of awarding bodies and strengthen their quality assurance procedures, which may be attractive to learners, employers and funders. Inclusion in the framework will embed these awards and awarding bodies into the wider education and training system, which may be important in the future for access to public funding, student grant supports and other evolving aspects of the tertiary education system. Finally, awards included in the framework have a standing in Ireland and abroad and can be academically recognised in other countries using the national and European frameworks as a translation tool. We expect the LAB scheme to launch during 2023 and will engage in wide stakeholder consultation in advance. Please get in touch if you are interested in learning more about the LAB scheme.